to Cooking with Sally J. It's Monday morning, and I've already got 7,000 steps in. I had a walk with a friend, and she could only go a mile, so when I come home I said, Bruce, you want to go? So I went with my best friend for another 2.5 mile walk. So at the end of my day, I'm going to feel good about my day because I'm almost at my goal of 11,000 steps. And there's some of you sitting on your couch saying, woohoo, big deal, or shut up. And that's what I normally would do too if I was watching somebody say all that. But for me, I'm going to have a good day because that's how I started things out. So, we're going to make lasagna. So what we're going to do right now, because the baby's getting ready to come, so I just want to get the sauce part of it going for you so you understand. I make my own sauce, and then later we'll put it all together. So what you're going to need is 1.5 pounds of Hamburg. I hated having to close my blind this morning. It's very cloudy out, but it still was giving off too much light in my kitchen for me to do anything. So I am making this for a friend. She just had surgery on her shoulder. But it makes quite a bit, so I'll probably make us a small dish. Or Bruce a small dish, because to tell you the truth, I don't care for it. Well, it doesn't like me, I guess I should say. Okay, so your Hamburg's in there, and all I got in there is Hamburg. And you're going to brown that up. And after that's browned up, we're going to have the grated cheese, and I'm going to have mozzarella cheese that I'm going to put in it. And then the ragu sauce. We'll be back in a minute because I got to wait for the meat to brown. We're coming back for just a quick second. This is how you grate cheese. How pretty. I hate grating cheese. I usually make the grandkids do it, but I got Mr. Wonderful to do it. Whoops. Kind of leaving messes here. Okay, good morning. I had to get the baby some breakfast. The Hamburg, I wanted to tell you, you do need to put garlic, salt, meat tenderizer in it. Just sprinkle it in there as you're browning it. And there's your browned meat. Now, professionals, whoever, they're going to tell you to drain it. Don't drain it. You want the flavor, you want the stuff. That's what makes stuff healthy. That's not going to kill you as much as preservatives and other stuff that you're going to buy out there. So keep whatever juices is in your pan. There's really not going to be that much. Okay, so keep your stove on about medium, and then you're going to add a pound of cheese, I think. Pound of cheese, yep. Of cheddar cheese. Now, we use mild. If you like sharp, use sharp. I do want to tell you, this is my mother-in-law's recipe, and as far as lasagnas go, this I like. If I eat it, it doesn't like me. But all the other recipes of lasagna that I had growing up, it had ricotta in it, or it had cottage cheese in it. It just, bleh. But my mother-in-law's had cheddar and baby Gouda. But at camp meeting, baby Gouda it was too expensive to do, so I just went to mozzarella, and that's what I do at home too. Once in a while I'll get a Gouda and do that, but typically I don't. So the mozzarella cheese, you will need a, is this a 5-pound bag, Bruce?
I think it's 2 pounds.
This is a 2-pound bag. Okay, you will need most of a 2-pound bag. So I just measured this out the same as what the cheddar was. And if you want to grate it, fine. It's just as easier. And I pour that in on top of that cheese. So you've got a pound of mozzarella and a pound of cheddar. And then you're going to put in a whole thing of ragu sauce. This is 4 pounds. Okay, so like I said, this is going to make a big dish. But it freezes really, really well, uncooked or cooked. Okay, so I'm going to keep this upside down for a minute while this is cooking. And I'm going to stir this all together. Whoa. Did a bubble on me. Okay, so it should be good and thick, and I am going to heat it just till it starts to bubble. I don't want it to bubble a lot. I just want it heated through. I don't care, but I don't want the cheese really melted. And I'm going to show you a trick. The other thing, and I'll mention that later. People always cook their lasagnas. Like making a lasagna to me was like the worst thing in the world ever. There was just so much work to it. Evidently, I'm not an Italian. Italians would make their noodles from scratch. I'm not going to do that. So, okay, I want the rest of my sauce in there. So you do want to try to get all your juices. Mix it good. I'll bring the camera over so you can see it. Let's see what I'm showing there. Okay. So that's what it should look like. And it's starting to heat through, and that's all you want is for it to heat through. You do not want it being bubbly, 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 okay? All right, figuring out the tripod and stuff because the baby keeps moving stuff on me. Okay, so we're gonna put the lasagna together, but I wanna back up a little bit because I told you I was going on about keep the grease, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What I was really meaning to say is when I cooked my hamburger, I did not put any oil in my pan. I did not put any butter in my pan. Just the hamburger. And you cook it up because the hamburger has plenty of its own fat to make a grease to cook it with. You don't need it. Now, I guess if you're using 100% no fat in your beef, you might want to use a little bit of something, but I never do. So you will have a little bit of grease. If you want to strain it, go ahead and strain it. That's totally up to you. I do not strain it because it's got the extra flavor. And it's not hurting anything. It's a lot healthier to make stuff from scratch than it is to go buy it, because if you look on it, there's so many preservatives and stuff. When you make it homemade, you know what's in it. Okay, so my mixture is done. So it's the ragu sauce, the hamburger, and the 2 types of cheeses. So now we're going to line our pans. And this is neat because a friend of mine, Dee Clark, helped me out one year at camp meeting. She said, Sally, I can help you with your lasagna. You don't have to pre-cook your noodles. And I'm like, what? Of course you have to pre-cook your noodles and all that stuff. She goes, no, you don't. And you know what? I don't even buy the oven-ready noodles. I just buy lasagna noodles. If they happen to say oven-ready, great, but I don't. Number one reason is at camp meeting and here, my sauce is warm, and so it's already going to heat up the noodles and make them. They're fine when you go to bake them. Believe me, you've just got to try it. You will not believe how easy your life would get by not having to pre-cook crazy noodles. All right, so my noodles, of course, are not going to fit my pans. The reason I'm doing 3 8x8s is because this family that I'm doing it for is just a small family, a family of 3. So 1 8x8 dish will be enough. But because it's a big recipe, it would make, I don't know what size a bigger pan is than 9x13, but it would make that type of size. I usually do it in a 9x13 and an 8x8. So today, 2 8x8s and 1 8x8 equals a 9x13 and 8x8. Okay? Put it in whatever size pan you want to put it in. Okay, So before I do that, I need a scoopy. That's really not what I want. So, get this out instead. Spoon to spread. Okay, it's a beautiful day out. It's a little chilly. Okay, so before you put any noodles in, you want to just cover the bottom of your dish. You do not want, it doesn't need to be thick, it just needs to be covered. I wish my stomach liked this stuff better because it smells so good, but ugh. Okay, so that's how you want the bottom of your dish to look like. Well, not this, you know what I'm saying. Okay, then you want to take your lasagna thingies and make it to fit your pan. Go one way, doesn't matter whatever way you choose to go. But if it's up and down, in 8x8 it takes a little bit less than 3. Okay. It doesn't matter if they overlap a little bit. And then you're going to take, this is a half a cup. So I would say it's going to take about a cup. Yeah. I'm going to take a cup on top of that first layer. And you want to cover your noodles really good. Okay? And then you're going to go in the opposite direction with your noodle. Okay? So if you went up and down, you're going to go across. I know the words would be vertical and horizontal. But my brain wants to think that each word is backward to what it really is, so I didn't want to say it. Okay, so I've broken some things up, so just use your broken pieces to fill in. Okay, so that's my second row. So that's layer 2. So you're going to need another cup. Of sauce. Spread that over the top. Now, I said earlier that this was my mother-in-law's recipe, that she used baby Gouda and stuff. But like I said at camp meeting, I couldn't afford baby Gouda down at camp meeting. And so I just did mozzarella cheese, the 2 blends, and it's really, really, people loved it. And I was just kind of stuck to that. So I guess you would say this is a combination of Mom Blakeney's recipe and my recipe. Okay, again, so this layer you're going to go opposite again, so you're going to go vertical. See, I can do it, people, if I concentrate. Sometimes I just want to hurry up. I'm always in a hurry. I don't know why I'm always in a hurry. I don't like that. My brain gets going, and I was telling Bruce today on our walk, we went to bed early last night, but I slept okay, but I kept waking up and my mind kept running through things I needed to do and stuff, and every time I'd start praying, I'd actually start singing a song to the Lord, and the minute I'd get 3 words out to him and I was sound asleep, I said, I hope he didn't think I was boring, because I don't think the Lord's boring at all. Okay, so that was my 1, 2, 3rd layer. So I have enough room. You do another cup. Whoops. And spread that nice. I'm going to probably have to bring the camera over because I don't dare to pick it up and show you. Okay, so that was, I do this every time when I make this. I have to stick my finger in it to see which. So I started out that way. So 1, 2, 3. I have room to do 1 more. Sometimes I never know whether, because I don't really want it to bubble over. But you do, in an 8x8, if it's deep enough, you do have room to do 4 layers of your noodles. Okay. All right, and then another cup of sauce. Spread it. Okay, so after you've done that layer, that's your 4th layer. It looks really good. I'm going to bring the camera over, so just be patient with me. Oh, so you see that spot where I need to spread it a little better, which I will. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take, I don't typically measure, but for your sake, today I will, after I fix my spot here. Probably a cup. Yeah. Okay, then you would just want to take your mozzarella cheese and spread it over the top like that. A cup will make it plenty cheesy. Okay, now the other thing that I learned at camp meeting, because if you put tin foil on it, it's going to stick to the tin foil and all that. So I'm going to freeze this for them, and they can cook it whenever they want to. And when you do go to cook it, okay, back up. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, so this is all put together. So if I was going to cook this tonight for supper, what I would do is I would sit this just out on my cupboard for no less than 2 hours, okay? So right now it's 9 o'clock in the morning. So I would probably let it set out till 11, and then I might put it in the fridge just so it wasn't sitting out all day, especially where it's summer. But when you get ready to cook it, take it out of your refrigerator about an hour before you want to cook it. That way it comes to room temperature, all right? Because you don't want your pan to be cold into a hot oven. You want your oven on, people will tell you 400. Go ahead if you want to, but I'm a 350 girl, and I'd rather do that and know it's bubbly and cook through 375, probably 375 at the highest for me, because I just don't like it to cook too fast. Make sure you have a oven liner in your oven or a cookie sheet that you don't care about, so that the bubbly stuff will be caught. And I will probably cook one off for Bruce for supper tonight, and I'll show you the end result of that. But it's very important because seriously, it does bubble and it does go in your oven. Okay, so I said all that. So right now, theirs, I am not going to cook today. I'm going to let them cook it. So I'm going to let it set out for a couple hours before I freeze it to make sure that all the moisture has gotten through all those noodles. I'm going to use some parchment paper. Yeah, looking like I'm going to have to buy some. All right, bear with me, people. I'm just going to... I keep forgetting I can edit this, and my brain is like, I gotta hurry up. I don't want to bore them. Okay, I just want this just to fit. Kind of like that. And I need to remember to tell them to take all this stuff off. So then I'm going to find my spray stuff, and I'm going to spray my parchment paper. And I'm going to put that over the top of that, like that. And then I'm going to seal. And I'm going to put that over the top of that because I'm going to put it in the freezer. Your press and seal is not going to seal down good, but that don't matter. I just want it there for another layer of protection because we're going to put tin foil over the top of that. You know, if you can figure it out simpler, go ahead, but like I like saying, this is what works for me. Okay, so got the tin foil on that really good. So it's covered really good. So at about 10 or 11, I'm going to take this. It'll be ready for me to put down in the freezer. Okay, so I'm just going to set it there. Now I'm going to put my other two together and we will come back later after we have. Okay, welcome back. We've cooked the lasagna, and whatever I said, don't listen to whatever I said, but it needs to be 350 for this size dish for about 40 minutes. An hour would be too long. So as you can see, the cheese, just a little brown, nice in the center. So I've had it sitting out for about 10 minutes so I could cut it for you. And typically, I just put a spoon in it and let people serve them how they want, but just to show you. And so I can serve my husband. Our youth pastor benefited from one of the dishes. They came down, didn't know what they were having for supper, so I let them take one up. So they always like it when I do my videos. Okay, so this is your lasagna, served with a salad or whatever you'd like to have go with it. So if you enjoyed this video of Cooking with Sally J, learning how to make homemade lasagna, Mom Blakeney style, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and go over to my Cooking with Sally Facebook page and you'll find the video there also, along with my full recipe. Enjoy and God bless.